Good morning and welcome to Member Focus Monday. I'm Christina Schaefer, Director of Social Media for AJR, and today we are talking all about how to set yourself up for long-term success with this year's Professional Development Advisory Group Chair, LaTisha Grant. Welcome to the program, LaTisha.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Excited to be here this morning.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you. And we're there. I know there's so many different opportunities out there for our members, and it just seems like they're not aware of some of these opportunities available to them, whether it be dealing with a changing market, whether it be learning AI, technology. There's so many things to learn about to really set yourself up for success. And that's what you're here for today, right? To fill us in on
Ab-
everything.
Absolutely. That's exactly why I'm here.
Thank you. Well, before we dive into everything that we have to discuss today, LaTisha, tell us a little bit about yourself, just who you are and what you do.
So, my name is LaTisha Grant. I'm the executive managing broker for TAS Realty Group, and I have a specialty. I specialize in affordable housing. I have been the broker of TAS Realty Group for now about 13 years. So time is just flying, but it's been absolutely amazing. So, that is me.
Very good. Thank you. And of course, you serve as this year's chair of the Professional Development Advisory Group. What made you sign up for that advisory group?
So here's what's interesting. So I've been a member of HAR since I've been licensed. So about 15 years I've been a member of HAR. I signed up for the professional advisory group because I just said, you know what, it's extremely important that we spread the awareness about the tools. And I'm a former educator. So I really believe in educating. So I'm like, well, what can I do? And professional advisory was definitely it was the right fit.
Very good. Yeah, fit right in line with what you're passionate about. So tell us a little bit about the Professional Development Advisory Group. What are the goals of the group, and what are your goals this year as chair?
So the goals of the group is to assist in enhancing the HAR tools and services to our real estate professionals. We want to make sure that, well, basically spreading the word, exactly what you said at the intro, right? Spreading the word of all of the tools and the services that are being provided. But in addition to that, taking it a step further, which is definitely a part of my mission. So taking it a step further, we've developed these subcommittees within HAR. Diversity and inclusion is one of them. Housing attainability, business management programs, and the TRLP alumni mastermind class.
Mm.
So, by doing those things, what we're able to do is not only spread the word, but kind of real life, real time, dive a little bit deeper into what it is that the agent is experiencing today in today's world and what do they need in order to help bridge the gap between their knowledge base and what's actually going on.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. Well, let's talk a little bit about AI because, as we know, it's been all the rage over the last 2 years. Every commercial we see things about AI. We see it online all the time. We get emails all the time. Take this AI class or that AI class. What are your thoughts on AI, and what courses would you recommend specific to real estate professionals that are wanting to learn more and implement AI into their business?
Yeah, let me just start with the fact that originally, when AI was first announced and it became a thing, I
Mm-hmm.
was so afraid. I was like, oh my goodness, somebody's going to steal my face and steal my voice and act as me. But then, after we thought about it, we realized that AI has been around for a very long time with all of the things that we value. So, for me, AI is an absolute time saver.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I said, okay, you know what? Let me embrace this and see what it is that I can do, which is another thing that I'm excited about to announce with HAR, all of the classes that are AI driven.
Mm-hmm.
AI for real estate marketing 1, AI for real estate marketing 2,
Mm-hmm.
real and AI for real estate marketing 3. I mean, really, what else can you ask for from an
Mm-hmm.
organization? And then, of course, we have the technology summit that's coming up really soon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to assist us in enhancing what it is that we do as real estate professionals. And as I said, for me, AI has been a time saver. I am developing a manual for my employees. And if I ever get stuck, I just go into AI. Of course, you get out of it what you put into it. I just go into ChatGPT, in which I'm not promoting ChatGPT, but I just go into ChatGPT, type in exactly what I'm looking for, and it spits out an answer.
It really can make everything so efficient, especially with marketing. And I know we posted links to those AI classes. Any of the classes that LaTisha mentions today, we're going to be sure to share those links with you in the comments so you can look into them further. But of course, those AI classes that LaTisha mentioned, one deals with writing, one is video marketing, and one is an advanced class. And then, of course, the Technology Summit, which I'm sure we'll talk more about later, which is taking place next week. So that one's a very time sensitive one. So thank you for that, LaTisha. So I'd love to hear some recommendations for you, some various classes that you think would help, whether somebody is a new agent, a seasoned agent. Either way, the market has changed in what we saw just a couple years ago to today. So what are some opportunities that you have as far as education to help them deal with the changes and really look at the market and how it is today and be able to work in that environment?
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that the market is forever changing because that's exactly what it's doing. So some of the classes that we have to help support that is objections as opportunity. How many of us have received that? Man, that's a great class. Prospecting on pennies. So I can't tell you the amount of times I'm hearing someone say, "Oh, I don't have any money." So this prospecting on pennies and understanding contingency situations. And then the last one that I recommend is triple your repeat and referral business.
I imagine that's a really good one. We know that a majority of realtors, that's where the majority of their business come from is that referral network. So excellent.
Absolutely.
And again, I think some of those classes are even shorter classes, 2 and 3 hour classes, and very inexpensive. So those are great recommendations. Also, LaTisha, there's some brokerages that have really great mentorship programs or training programs for newer agents specifically. What do you recommend though to maybe a newer agent that's working with a brokerage? Maybe it's a smaller brokerage and they just don't have that kind of thing in place. Do you have recommendations for just a newer agent getting into the business?
Absolutely, I do. And it's actually what I recommend to my agents. And I commend, first of all, I want to commend any brokerage that has an extensive training program because that takes a lot of work. So, congratulations and kudos to them. But HAR has set up the Realtor Launch, and I have recommended that to all of my new agents. Guys, we're already paying dues. Take the classes. All you have to do is sign up and show up. I can't get any easier than that. Sign up and show up. But Realtor Launch is a great opportunity. And another thing that I recommend my agents do is when you're planning your monthly schedule, go online and look for the classes for the month, even for the quarter. And anything that interests you, sign up for that. Because a lot of this is best practice, right? So go ahead and sign up for them and just continue to get educated.
Absolutely. And of course, the education website's hr.com/education. Any of the specific courses that LaTisha's mentioning, we're putting those in the comments for you so you can find those easily. And that's such a great piece of advice because I think people tend to wait until their renewal's coming up and then they're saying, oh, all of a sudden I need to get in 18 hours, because we had 2 years to do it, but we wait until that last week or so, right? But really taking a lot of those classes throughout the year and just keeping yourself educated, that's such a better way to do it.
Right. And Christina, education is not for your certification, right? I mean, yes, it is a requirement, but education is for you to better service your clients.
Absolutely. The more you know, the more you can help.
That's right.
And kind of along those lines, we've talked a lot about being able to state your value on this program. And it's something that we recommend to people of all levels, brand new agents, seasoned agents, team leaders, brokers, managers, whoever you are in this business, you have to be able to state your value either to a consumer, to if you're recruiting, you have to be able to state that value to an agent that you're trying to recruit, right? So what are your recommendations? What are your thoughts on stating your value? And what recommendations do you have to help our members better state their value?
Yeah. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I want to start saying at the end of every question, there's a class for that. So, and there absolutely is, ironically enough, value proposition for realtors.
Yeah.
So that is a phenomenal class first of all, of course, by knowing your worth, then
Mhm.
you can articulate that in something that you can give out to your customers and or your clients. But
Mhm.
value proposition is, I mean, that really just ends the my response right there.
Mhm. Yeah, I actually had the opportunity to sit in on that class recently. And I think it's a 3 hour class. It's a shorter class, but I really to me, it felt more like a workshop. Because that's really what it was, and everybody was kind of working together on learning how to state your value, and you leave that class with a lot of really great takeaways.
Yep.
So that was an excellent addition to the course calendar for this year. Thank you for that. So I Oh, there's just a comment here that came in that I should probably share. And if you have any questions for LaTisha, please type those in to the comments. So far, I'm just seeing a lot of people saying good morning and hi and all of that great stuff. But this comment from Anaz, now that we have Zoom classes, they had over 50 hours of CE. So they're
Exactly.
taking advantage because of that ease of access to the class. So that's wonderful to hear. So, LaTisha, there's a lot of different designations and certifications. We see them, we have a lot of them that we offer here locally at HAR, some that you can get through TR and NAR and other affiliate, other locations and organizations out there. But there's so many, what do you recommend to, let's break it down. What would you recommend to a newer agent, a seasoned agent, and what designations maybe even for a broker?
Oh man, there's such a long list. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, accredited buyers agent, that class is important because when we come into this industry, we're mostly working with buyers. So
Mm-hmm.
you definitely want to be able to understand the ins and outs as it relates to that. And then of course, when you're moving up, you want to go to the seller. So of course, there's a certification for, and I can't even remember if it's sellers accredited, but at the end of the day, it
Mm-hmm.
is
I
it's a
think it's
designation.
SRS, the seller's representative specialist, maybe.
That
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
it. That's actually it.
yeah.
And then for our brokers, TRLP.
Mm-hmm.
Even well, and I'm going to back up and say, if you are a team lead considering a brokerage, just TRLP is so extensive. I would probably say I wouldn't sign up for anything else if I want to do TRLP 1 year, because it's going to give you just about everything that you need. And then the next set would be any niche specific certifications.
Mm-hmm.
There's commercial, there's affordable housing, there is senior designations, there are land and ranch, all of those.
Very good. Now, tell us a little bit more about TRLP because I know you took part in TRLP, which is the Texas Realtors Leadership Program. Tell us
Yeah,
about that program. I know we actually have a class going on right now.
yeah.
Tell us about that.
So I am a 2014 graduate of TRLP,
Mm-hmm.
and I am actually able to sit in on 2024. And I tell you, 10 years later, I have a completely different appreciation for the class. But it starts off, it started, was April. The class launched with a retreat, which if you know me, you know I love a good retreat. So it starts off with a retreat, and it allows you to get to know people in the industry. I mean, very intimately. The class
Mm-hmm.
size is no more than 36. So it's a pretty small class as compared to the HAR's members.
Mm-hmm.
And then we move into things like time management,
Mm-hmm.
things like building a team, growing your brokerage. It's very, very detailed. And these are day long classes. So what you get to the opportunity to do is you get to spend a full day. It's hands on. It's just an exciting program.
Mm-hmm.
And again, our class continues to show up and show out. So shout out to 2014. And 10 years later, I am still grateful that I took the class or
Time
the certification.
Time flies. I can't believe that was already 10 years ago. Also, LaTisha, you mentioned business management earlier. And I think that's something else that is really great for those managers, brokers. I know it's a 10-week program that some of our members have already been through. Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
Yes, and it is. So it's almost like obtaining an MBA in business, um, but real estate specific.
Hmm.
So I did sign up for that class. I was actually a part of the first class. And again, same thing as TRLP. So I probably wouldn't do both at the same time. So
Hmm.
you have extension exercises, and I hope that that wasn't foreign because that's what we used to say when I taught school. So you you have extension exercises, and then you have meetups, and I believe you meet every 2 weeks. And during that time, that's when you're receiving the education and the knowledge for business specific. It is definitely geared more towards those. Which, and I say that, I was going to say leading a team, but really growing your business, because
Hmm.
we are all entrepreneurs and we're all the owners of our own businesses.
Hmm.
So it is still important for you to take. So this is another one of those classes that's available to any and everyone. But if you are a team leader or a broker, I highly, highly recommend you take it. Everyone else, it's definitely open, and the content is relevant to all.
Excellent. And that's a 10-week program, so it's spread out and gives you plenty of time to take it all in. Excellent. Um, very good. Just a comment that came in from one of our contract instructors, Richard Ortiz. He said, also, once you receive these designations, you could use it to promote yourself. However, if you're a platinum agent, you can have consumers find you much easier and help stand out from the competition. And he's talking about the search filters on our website and app that allow consumers to search for people with a particular designation or certification, and also, of course, if they're a platinum subscriber as well. So, very good. Thank you for that comment, Richard. Again, if there are any questions for LaTisha, type them in now. We'll get to as many as we can. So, we've talked about a lot of designations, but I would love to hear your take on everything. For you personally, what do you feel has, because I know you've done a lot of them, what do you feel has been the most valuable designation course that you've taken and really just impacted your business?
So, as you know, I'm extremely heavy in the affordable housing space.
Hmm.
So, it is the Texas Affordable Housing Specialist certification that's
Hmm.
probably the biggest certification for me. I operated in this space prior to me obtaining the certification, but it is that certification that puts me into rooms, or at least my name into rooms, before
Hmm.
I personally appear. Having that designation, it just opens it just opens the floodgates of people that, like Richard said, that can find you online. Because in that particular market, you want to be sure that you're working with someone that understands the affordable housing market and that has access to all of the different programs. And so that one has been the biggest one for me. But that's exactly why I said any niche specific
Hmm.
certifications is what you should do, because if you want to be heavy in commercial, if you're heavy in the senior space, when someone's looking for you and you have that designation behind you, yes, you have the knowledge, but now it's almost like being degreed. So yeah, that is the one for me.
Very good. Thank you. And just a comment here from one of our staff members, Mary Angie. She said, AJR offers free monthly affordable housing webinars. The next one's May 29th. So she shared a link for that as
Yeah.
well. And somebody was also asking to repeat the name of the 10-week course. It's the AJR Business Management Program. And I'm sure one of our staff can share a link to that in the comments as well. Well, I know we have some events already on the books for this year, LaTisha. Tell us, what events are you recommending to our members to really just save the date, get them on their calendar now?
There are so many. AJR is always doing something. But I'm going to start with the Technology Summit.
Mhm.
And as soon as that came across, I registered right away. I'm like, okay, that is what I need. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm not from the era where I grew up using technology. So I
Mhm.
think that that's extremely important. And then we have the HAR Global Day. That's another event that I believe that is extremely important for people to put on their calendar. And don't forget about HAR Engage. Do not
Mhm.
forget about that.
Mhm. Very good. You were talking about niche markets, global. There you go. So anybody that's already taking part in international or global transactions, or maybe wants to and wants to learn more about it, that's another good one. And yes, HR Engage. Everyone can save the date, Thursday, October 17th. Tickets go on sale for AJR Engage on August 1st. So mark your calendars for October 17th and August 1st to get that early bird ticket. Well, excellent, LaTisha. We've learned a lot from you. We've got a lot of chatter going on in the comments here. I just want to take a second because I did see a question pop up from Gentavia. She asked, would you suggest designations through from an organization that's not NAR recognized? So, there's a lot of different schools out there. If there's a class that they're looking at that's not NAR recognized or TR or HAR recognized, do you recommend that members go ahead and take that class anyway?
Well, the very first thing that I would say is to ensure that this is from a credible source. That's number one. If that answer is yes, then yes. Because again, and I say this all the time, the education is not necessarily, or the certification is not necessarily for everyone else. It's for you to be able to better serve your client. So if we're talking about someone that's credible, reputable, absolutely, I would take it. It being NAR recognized is just that just puts an extra seal on a stamp on the envelope. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to be well educated. So I would say yes.
Yeah, definitely look up the source, and most of those institutes or different organizations, they have all the information on their website. So great question though, because it does happen. We see different courses that come through our email or our news feed, and you may not know the source, but it sounds like a great class, right? So do some research. Absolutely. Well, LaTisha, again, you've shared some great information today. Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience?
First of all, it's always great to be on the HAR platform. So thank you so much, Christina, for having me today. It was definitely a pleasure. But I also just want to tell all of the agents, all the real estate professional realtors that are listening, we're all in this together. This is a forever changing industry, as we talked about before. Just be kind to each other. I am just hearing horror stories out there. Just be kind and to each other, and we all have a common goal, and that's to get to the closing table. So I definitely hope to see many of you there coming soon. But outside of that, stay educated.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And of course, we've mentioned it before in this program, but har.com/education is where you can find all of the courses that were mentioned today. I know some of them, the business management program, I think we have one coming up later this year, was a comment we saw. So it will be on the books, but har.com/education, and a quick self promo for our social media. If you're following us on any of our social media platforms, you can't miss it. We're always posting about the upcoming courses. So make sure that you're taking a look at what we're posting, because it always breaks my heart when we've been posting about a class and then we maybe post after the class took place and somebody says, oh, I didn't know this was happening. So just please pay attention to the course calendar that LaTisha mentioned and our social media channels so that you can stay informed. Well, LaTisha, thank you again so much for your time today. This has been really helpful, and hopefully everybody goes and signs up for some of those classes that you mentioned.
Agreed.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, that is it for this Member Focused Monday. We will be back next Monday at 9 a.m. We'll see you then. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.